All right guys, today we're gonna be making a super delicious French onion dip, but to prep for it, I made some low carb tortilla chips because I'm always using veggies or flackers, but this is the good stuff. So all I did was take a low carb tortilla and I cut it up with scissors, and then I sprayed both sides with some coconut oil spray and popped it in the oven for 350 for about 8 minutes, and then I cranked it up to broil for a couple minutes and I looked at them, and so when they start to brown, like that's crispy. Did you see that? That breaks. So this is the perfect tortilla chip, really quick to make for any dips. So I'm gonna set these aside. They're gonna cool while we make the dip. So this is no ordinary French onion dip. For this dip, instead of using onion powder, which you could do if you're in a quick pinch and you want something delicious to whip up, but if you want to go the extra mile, which is what I'm going to do today, you are going to use a real onion, and we're going to caramelize this and then fold it into the dip at the end. So let's get this cooking. So I'm going to use about a half of an onion. Do them nice and thin. So that looks good. So remember, when you're caramelizing something, you want to go really nice and slow. We're going to get our skillet heating to low heat, and we're gonna pop in just a tad bit of butter. Okay, once your butter has melted, we're just gonna toss in the onions. We're gonna break them apart. So that's gonna take a while, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. We're gonna check back on it, and while those are caramelizing, we're gonna get started on the dip. So the base of this dip is gonna be sour cream and cream cheese, but we're also gonna toss in some fresh herbs because I like my stuff fresh. You can use some dried parsley and dried chives if you want, but I am just gonna mince up some fresh parsley, and we're also gonna do some chives. So that we're gonna set that aside, and we're gonna get this base going. So in this bowl, I have 2 ounces of room temperature cream cheese, and to that, I'm gonna add sour cream. So let's get this entire container in here. I'm gonna give that a mix. Definitely bust out your hand mixer for this so you make sure everything's incorporated and smooth and creamy. This looks good. So if that cream cheese is really room temperature, it's gonna mix perfectly. You don't want any chunks of cream cheese. So to this, we're just gonna add the rest of the seasonings and the rest of the ingredients. We're gonna do some garlic powder, salt, pepper, of course, freshly ground, and then our chives and parsley. And we're just gonna give that a mix. And this is a dip you definitely wanna serve cold. So after you make it, you're gonna wanna pop it in the fridge for at least an hour before you serve it. The dip is really good to go. All we're looking to add next is the onions, and that'll just finish it off. So we're gonna let the onions still caramelize some more before we fold those in. All right guys, so the onions are done. The dip is in the fridge, and I have my serving platter ready to go. So these are the low carb tortilla chips that I made, and like, again, look at that. Super crunchy. Perfect for serving up, quick to make. So let me grab the dip. So a lot of you will probably ask what tortillas we used, and this is the one that we have that I used. And there's a ton out there, and these are pretty large. So if you're looking for just like large tortillas, they have different sizes, small, big. So let's get our dip served up. And so I'm not gonna lie, I would have let the onions cool and folded those in, preferably, but Matt was like, we should top the dip. So what Matt wants, Matt gets. And so these aren't cooled, but ideally you let these onions definitely cool before you top this dip because you want it to be nice and cold. We're gonna do it anyway. Oh baby. You know, sprinkle on some extra parsley, some extra chives to present it if you're serving this, but I'm just gonna dig right in. Oh man, I love dips. I'm gonna just get some of this dip alone without the onion. The sour cream and cream cheese play off one another so well. You get like the tart from the sour cream, but like the creaminess and like the fattiness from the cream cheese. And then with those seasonings and the fresh herbs, this is a home run and super easy to make. And again, if you're looking for a quicker recipe, forego the caramelized onions and just toss in some onion powder. This is a home run. Serve this at like gatherings, serve this for a game night, get the kids out, get the board games out. I love Scrabble personally. Matt hates Scrabble. I'm always like trying to sneak it in like, oh, you want to do Scrabble? Oh, okay, yeah, let's pull out the Scrabble board. He just like hates Scrabble. What's your favorite board game?
Like a party atmosphere, wits and wages.
Okay, what about just like date night with wine? Scrabble. Pull out your board games, make some French onion dip. Linked below is the recipe and the ingredients exactly on how to make this. And we got a lot of other dips on the site. We have a buffalo chicken dip that's a huge hit, really delicious. We got a spinach and artichoke dip, and then we have pizza dip. Pizza dip I grew up on. So if you make the pizza dip, I want to see it. Tag us on Instagram. All right, thanks for joining us, guys.